Phebe Swill. My show is called the Phebe Swill Platform, and on my show, we discuss everything human interest issues ranging from entertainment, politics, sports, you name it, that can get you excited and entertained. We discuss it all on the Phebe Swill platform.
Proudly brought to you by Salon Jamboree.
And yes, it's the Phebe Swill platform. I am Phebe Swill. Today we're going to talk about sustainable youth development. A lot of times we see young people, engaged in idleness or perpetrating violence, doing one thing or the other, things that in majority don't benefit them. And you have people saying that it's because some of these young people are being used by our politicians to perpetrate violence for election processes, and after which they become used to it, they continue doing it. Others will tell you it's just as a result of idleness, they don't think out of the box and want to get themselves doing things. You'll have people who will tell you it's as a result of illiteracy, they don't have proper education, so they cannot be employed, and without employment, they're idle. Others would tell you they have to think out of the box to employ themselves. Well, it's a lot of things as to why youths behave the way they behave. So today I have three gentlemen here. I actually think of them as the three musketeers. They're friends, but they're young people doing something good. They could be role models to other young people. And so today they're going to tell us what they think are some of the reasons why young people behave the way they behave these days, especially with the cliques all over the country, attacking people, killing and all that, and what could be done by themselves and by the government and other people to make sure these people have a better life they live that will help positive impact their lives and the country as a whole. So today, viewers, we're talking to Kelvin Doe from Kedo Tech. We have Alex Nalo Jr., who is from iLead, and we have Festus Bangula, a child and youth rights activist. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the platform. Okay, just a recap, yeah? A while ago, there was this Sustainable Youth Summit that was held at Miata Conference Hall. I was invited to it, and these three gentlemen proudly are the organizers of such. So from there, I was like, okay, I could get these three people on my platform, and let's talk about sustainable youth development. Gentlemen, let's go back to that summit you organized here. What was the whole idea? What triggered that youth summit?
Well, it was a joint initiative. Me and Alex spoke about how we can be able to foster development among young people, and also how we can create the connection that we've already achieved for ourselves, to sell out to other young people that are coming up. And we spoke briefly about the initiative in terms of launching a movement, which is the 80% SME economy given by 2030. And we spoke about, getting the government sector involved, the private sector, and, launch the movement as a team. And Alex was the key pioneer of the Sustainable Development Initiative that we launched quite recently.
Alex, what would you say inspired that move? What did you guys see, or what factors did you consider to do this?
I think the entire space in the globe is moving for change. We believe it was about time the young people of Sierra Leone started thinking in the direction of hands on, not hands out. What can we do? We discussed a lot about the challenges and problems we face in Sierra Leone, and as young people were kind of like, nothing is new in Sierra Leone. The problems are the same, we know them, we talk about them. What are we doing? So it was inspired out of us asking ourselves tough questions as young people. This is the situation, this is what is happening, what are we doing? Because when you go to other places, you meet other young people, they are progressively doing things. But what are we doing? So we were very honest with ourselves that we were talking a lot, and we needed to do something. We needed to go into action.
So it's not just about talk this time around, it's about talking and walking.
How do we translate the visions, the aspirations we have into something practical and workable action for the development of Sierra Leone and ourselves? So I think, because when you look at the whole issue of sustainability, it starts with you, yourself. So it was coming back to the drawing board, asking ourselves, how far have we come as young people? What do we know? What difference can we make? So we asked a lot of difficult questions which we needed to answer, but some in our minds. Then we think it was okay. Let's start somewhere. We came together on a KDOT. We organized a sustainable development youth summit, and it was quite interesting because looking at the discourse that came out, the way people interacted, the way people, we all, I think
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think
yeah.
a lot was achieved because from the feedback we got from people there, it was.
And one great thing of Phoebe was that we all left as young people the impression that we're not working, that we are not doing anything. That's the reality of the
So we need to
situation.
start
The
doing.
system is this, the system is that, but what are you doing for yourself? What are the values, the principles, the ethics that we've learned as young people? And how are we applying these things in our daily lives? We are honest to say, well, we are to come back to the drawing board and say, come on, we need to look at our skill set, we need to look at, are we pursuing our dreams, are we doing what we should be doing, or are we wasting our time? And then, because the system, the core of the argument was that this is the system, this is what is happening in Sierra Leone, but who created the system? It's because of, at some point, some bad people seated at some deck somewhere and they made a bad decision. So
Festus, let me bring you in on this with the excuse about that. Now I know Alex is being diplomatic about it. People are saying that politicians use some of these young people to perpetrate violence when they need them. So for them now, it's become a habit that they cannot really get rid of like that. Do you buy that idea?
Well, then again, I would like to draw the line, as Alex was saying. The whole idea of getting youth involved in negative activities and then the politicians being the key pioneers of this attitude of the young people negatively, I wouldn't want to agree to it fully because at the end of the day, Fabian, we as young people, it could have been Alex, it could have been Kelvin, it could have been me, but at the end of the day, the homes that some of us came up from are the ones that actually shaped us to who we want to be. And like you said earlier, this is an event that we hosted as young people. You can imagine it was just 3 young people who hosted and about 400 people. And then we are able to call upon key stakeholders in Sierra Leone to come and discuss about issues because we wanted to see how best as young people we can take up challenges. These are things that are happening elsewhere in Ghana, in South Africa. You have young people who will just come together and organize an event that actually reflects on others. So for me, I see it as the home bringing. You understand, the foundation is not strong, and unless we are able to engage parents, we're engaging the community leaders on telling them that when you have a child, these are some of the ethics. Because at the end of the day, Phoebe, you can agree with me that I will agree 40 or 60% of these clique boys are street children, but others are in their houses, you understand, and they have parents, for goodness
Mind you,
sake.
Festus, every child came from a home.
Exactly. So that's my point. Even before my encounter with any politician, I've spent days, nights with my mother, or with my guardian. And it is the onus of these people to first of all shape you how you can shape the society.
exactly.
You understand?
Yeah. I think Festus is making quite a brilliant point. We're looking at, not if we want to say we're blaming the politicians, then we're looking at just one side of the coin. But the fact of the matter is, for me, it's the society we're living in. What do we know as right and what do we know as wrong? What are the moral values do we learn from our homes, our schools, our churches, the mosques, the community we live in? So what do we know? Because you're looking at the youth today, the youth are going on outrage, high youth crime, fine. But if somebody's 18 years and now today he's committing crime, you want to ask yourself, when he was 8, 9, 10, what are the things he learned, he gained from the society? So you're looking at, because we know to be true that the formative period of people, basically it's from 0 to 14. You got a formative period, yeah? And now people are quoting the Bible looking at, yes, an eye for an eye, but the same Bible is telling us that train up a child the way they should grow. It says what? When they are grown, they cannot depart from it. We don't want to position ourselves as the best of the youth. If I'm not out there today starting people, it's because of the information I have.
Yeah, so what do
Because
you
of the
know that
guidance.
these youths do not know, and what do you do that they don't do that makes the difference, that makes you, and not them?
Education is one. That's the most powerful tool. The information, the power you have. Education and personal development. The information, people say information is power. It's not the political power, but it's a power you have within yourself to control yourself, to say what you're doing. And now you're looking at hope. Education is what gives you hope. If I'm broke today, I think I can't go on the rampage because I have something in me that tells me that it can be possible tomorrow.
Yeah,
So imagine if
Alex,
I'm broke and my only option is to steal. That's the only option left for me.
and
So what we are saying specifically is that we have to come back as a society. Now, my concern is how do we stop the 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid from becoming the bad boys they are now? We might not be able to transform those that are
Already,
committing the
that
crime,
are doing it already, but you know,
but
catch
where
them
did we
young.
go wrong? Where did we go wrong? We are here to. There's a
So
long road to
correcting
this
that
crime.
mistake for
Yeah.
the other
But
generation.
otherwise, the methods or strategies we're using, are they sustainable? Government in, government out. Today we have the Internal Affairs Minister is very proactive, but if he is not on the seats tomorrow, who else is there? What system do we have in place? So I think it's coming back to the drawing board and talking as society and bringing out methods and strategies that are sustainable, that are not geared towards, it's not a person-centered strategy because I know I can do it, I know I can resist. I have the authority to resist them, so I'm in this position and I have to attack them. But if you're not there tomorrow, and the truth is, 15 years from now, you're not going to be there.
It's obvious, yeah.
So what do we have for the future? So that's what we think.
Festus, you wanted to come in?
yes, like Alex was saying just now, Fabian, one issue again that we should be thinking about when we talk about the creating status of the youth in Sierra Leone is education, which is very key. You can agree with me that as they go by, our education is downgrading, you understand? It's very disheartening to say what our universities are now producing. You know, you are in a classroom with a university student, third year, and then this individual cannot just speak English, you understand? This individual cannot construct just few sentences. You begin to say, some of these problems, there will come a time when we shall be separating the problems the society is being faced with. First of all, you have people who are academically empowered but cannot produce positive results. And you have people who are not academically empowered but can produce positive results. For example, you have people who are not educated. But at the end of the day, these are people that are contributing in their own little way. Because a country is like a ship, you understand? Every single part matters, you understand, in order for it to operate. So even if somebody is not educated, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't want to have a situation where we will be saying, well, if I actually don't go to the book and pen school, then that simply means I cannot do anything. You understand? You have these vocational trainings. But the honest truth is, Phoebe, and I used to say, for goodness sake, I will not drop out of school to sell something that will just, maybe the actual sale price is 10,000 years. You understand? Or I will not drop out of school to be a car rider. You understand? That's just my opinion.
With all due respect.
With all due respect to the profession, yes. You know, because at the end of the day, look at the sustainability of the job. That's my point. You know, when I'm coming up, I'm looking at something that will earn me, even if by adventure I get involved in an accident today, something that will earn me security for lifetime.
But you know there's this thing again, the categories differ. You have those who willingly want to learn, but they don't have people to provide education for them. They don't have the upper hand. Then you have those who have been provided with education, but they're not serious. So they drop out of school. They come with bad grades and all those. To take to NPSC, they'll have to do it 3 times. Becca, it's 5 times. WASC, they will never cross the bridge. There's that category of them. And you have some also who think that they're poor. Education is not going to help them earn enough money. So they use poverty as an excuse. And you have those who I think also implement things they watch from movies, like you watch movies like Isakaba, or you watch movies like, you see probably Jamaica being given a role that he was a thief and through stealing armed robbery, he made it, he becomes rich. So I think some of them are affected by a lot of those things surrounded by them. Good thing is here today, yeah? We have Kelvin though. Kelvin, you are from a very poor family, but your story is very inspiring. Despite poverty, you focused on education. You went to the dust bin to get scrap metals to build what you wanted to build. So for those who are in that category who think poverty is a limitation to their success, you being an individual of such circumstance and to this height you've come in life now, how would you best talk to them?
Bridging what Alex and Festus have said, I think it's also the mindset of us being able to know what is best for us and what is wrong at the same time. And in as much as we're all young, we're all coming up, and one of the things that we believe in is not just for ourselves, but how can we transform the next generation of young people that are coming up. And looking at what you said, coming from a poor family background, it's something that I for sure know and believe. It's not going to change. It's going to change because if I work towards changing what I do to support my family, changing the mindset, go to school on a daily basis, get good grades, I'll be able to change the situation. So at this point, for me, I believe my family situation, it's something that has already happened, and the only thing that I can change is to change myself, able to earn money and support my family. And at this point, so many of us, are coming up from a poor family background, and at the end of the day, we believe our family situation is why we're still starting from square one and not, actually knowing that you have the power and possibility to change the situation.
Being born poor, is it a limitation to your success in life?
Yeah, at some point, because I went to school where we are all coming from a different background. Prince of Wales. At some point, you have some of your friends that do go to the restaurant and buy quality food, good food, and at the end of the day, you go and buy food low, which is 500 euros at that time. And I wouldn't say because I've been able to gain all this recognition and fame, so I need to put myself in a level where people will see me as this kind of individual.
Yeah, you wouldn't, but I would mount you up that platform. You know why? Simply to tell others that that situation you find yourself in right now, where you were born, is not your fault.
Yeah.
But what you become in life is entirely your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're right.
So people like me would put you up to that platform to let others know that being born poor is not a limitation to what you can achieve in life. Because you were there, no one gave you the money, you went to the dustbin, you took scrap metals, you made nothing become something. And here you are today, you are somebody, and for those of you who don't know, he has actually been ranked as, I think, among the 150 most influential youths globally. So that tells you that your poverty is just a status, temporary. Yeah? You can change that by what you do. Now, gentlemen, stay with us. Let's take a look at South Africa's youngest millionaire. He's 23 years old. And let's just take a short insert, something I got. I was so touched when I came across this video. Let's take a look at it.
This is actually where I grew up. That's my grandmother's place. I spent a number of years, more than a decade, living in these streets. However, for me, it's not a lot of young people or a lot of black people who make it out of this township and do well for themselves. But at the same time, there are people such as Yosandile Zungu. He grew up in this township, and right now he's running one of the most successful companies in South Africa. And it's one of the people that I used to say, you know what, if he can do it, why can't I?
At just 23 years old, Sandile Shezi has become one of South Africa's youngest millionaires, but he admits that he made some very risky decisions.
My parents gave me my tuition fees for the year to go and pay for university, and I actually took the entire amount and I threw it in the forex market. I actually started trading through Standard Bank online, where I was buying and selling stocks, but at that time I didn't really take it that seriously. After working on a few businesses, I realized that, you know what, if I really put my entire energy into this thing, I could actually make it big. Being a young trader, I started networking with other people already in the trading industry. That's when I was introduced to what we call currency trading, which is the forex market. Then I moved over. When we started the business, it was very challenging and difficult. For us as young people, we never studied business management. We don't come from an economics background or those kind of things. For us, it was more about, you know what, get a company registered, just get it off the ground, open an office and just jump in the deep end. And of which when we got started, that's when we realized things are not as easy as they look. You can't just open a laptop and start trading. You got to understand what you're doing, and that's where my company comes in. That for us, it's about grooming people and making them understand that when is the right time to buy, when is the right time to sell, and how do you go about avoiding losing your capital. We want to empower everybody about Forex. You know, we want to make sure the masses know about trading.
I might be holding on and I end up having a repeat of what happened to the Zim dollar. I hold on, it loses more value. I hold on, it loses more value. Eventually what I'm holding on to has no value.
As a company, we do what we call free beginners classes. So essentially anyone and everyone, irrespective of background or education, qualification, they can come through for a free beginners classes, of which there is no fee for that. They don't even pay for the seats when they attend. And essentially, we pretty much give them all the basics they need about Forex and what we do as a company.
How did Aliko Dangote become the richest guy in Africa? I wanted to know, how did Tony Elumelu become one of the most respected billionaires in Nigeria? How did Sanjay Zungu, a black boy from a township in Durban, make so many billions in his lifetime?
When you get into entrepreneurship, the first thing in your mind is money. That, you know, I need to make money, I need to feed myself, I need to be able to take care of my expenses. But once you have done that, you start looking at a bigger picture that, you know what, I've got employees to take care of. I've got people to make sure that we take care of. We've got clients in a number of different cities. So for me, it's more about giving value than just making money at this point.
So that's South Africa's youngest millionaire at 23. He dropped out of college, he used the money, he started his own little business. Today he owns a company, he is a CEO. Alex, a lot of times they say unemployment is leading to the youth being idle, and idleness leads them to be perpetrating violence all around the place. And I know that no government in the world can employ all the people. Now, as young people, what can we do for ourselves in a country where the government cannot employ everyone, and you probably don't even, there are people with master's degree who don't have jobs. How much more of you who've not even stepped into college yet?
Exactly.
What can we do for ourselves?
I think the big problem is us young people in Sierra Leone. I want to say it boldly that we should stop faking it. We've got a lot of faking it in Sierra Leone. Young people are. Festus mentioned something which is touching for me in terms of you wouldn't leave college and become an Okada man, but for me, my mindset could be different on that, yeah? Nothing is wrong with riding an Okada, but the point is, it's a transition point in your life. At some point, you needed to do something. You don't want to beg someone because the world is looking at hands-on. You don't want so much begging around Syria, like people want to be given money without being worked for. So it's about stop faking it.
It's a lot of about all day, body.
That's
all
it.
that kind of thing.
It's evident in Sierra Leone. Young people, we waste a lot of resources. Unemployed people, they waste a lot of resources. College students, we waste resources. They are not working, but they earn the best of the technology gadgets in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, and when they are ready to form parties and all that, it's millions of euros.
I've been to a student party which was worth like 100 million euros. I was like, oh, seriously.
Can you imagine?
Imagine a group of students can raise 100 million euros, which is not a small amount anywhere you go in the world.
You could use that to start a company,
So
and you have like a corporation, all of you.
Exactly. So how do we transform these things? How do we come back to the drawing board and say we're faking it as young people? Because in life, at certain points, if you don't go down, you can never go up.
Sure.
Yeah. The world will never know Kelvin today if he never went to the dustbin. Imagine he went to the dustbin.
Yeah.
How many kids? Currently I can't go to the dustbin because I think it's not my place. But he saw something beyond the dustbin and he went there. Nobody knew him there. Today Kelvin is a global icon. That tells you never know what happens for your future if you start doing something productive. You believe something, you vision something. That's what we are doing as young people. We're blaming hastily people say, Sierra Leone say, yeah, Solomon, they like big talk. Now, things that we talk. Solomon got big dreams, we know how to do now, but we talk.
And a lot of times they give compliments to the Fula, the tribe Fula, yeah, because you know they are so business minded.
Exactly.
You'd see a Fula man starting a business, probably with just a small, they start shoemaking.
Yeah, exactly.
They go around shoemaking, they don't care. Shoemaking, you see them getting a cigarette box, selling biscuits, cigarettes, sweets and all that. Next thing you know, the wife would be with the cigarette box and the kids. If you're not careful, the husband would be selling roast meats. They'll be saving all the profits coming in. And next thing you know, they own a shop. And it's like that. Now they'll own a company. It starts small. They have that spirit of starting small and developing up.
Currently in Sierra Leone, when you look at the set of the Fulham and They are the best of the businessmen you can find around. They've never been to school, they've never been to the IPAM, they've never been to business school, but
Well, they are very successful.
they are practicing universal theories without them knowing. That's a global theory, in fact. If you think big, you have to start small so that you can scale fast and grow. So that's the universal theory. You can't start up because imagine you want to start a business, then you start up a business with $100,000. You don't have the expertise and financial expertise, management expertise, leadership experience to grow your wealth. So what people tell you, grow your wealth from grass to grace. That's what we don't want to do, young people. We are faking a whole lot of things. And as a result, I tell people, yes, X and Z is not happening within the system, but that is just the cause of why you were doing something, but it's not the excuse. So what do we want to tell our kids tomorrow? That, okay, I had bad governance in Sierra and that's why I never achieved my dream. Nobody want to fall for that, right? So it's about us coming back to us as young people, doing what we should not do. Nothing is wrong with leaving university and telling yourself that you have to sell ginger beer. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Just yesterday and today, just a few days back, practically I saw somebody selling some sprays and all. I took him into business, I bought some sprays. And I have to sell it at a higher price. And at the end of the day, I'm making money out of it. So I wouldn't say, no, I'm not the sales sprayer to pass that stage. So that's what we're doing. We're faking life. So we are appearing big and dressed up. We are not. Young people, fancy phones and fancy life, or we are faking it. So you have to be real as young people. You start somewhere and you build your story. You know, Phebe, that's why it's difficult for you to see people in Sierra Leone telling their stories. Like mentor big people.
Because most of them
we want to start from the top. You graduated today, you want to drive the best of the cars. You want to rent furnished apartments. You just want to get there. You just want to be there.
And
you
it's not like that in
want
life.
to take their time to grow. And at the end of the day, we're losing out. People are not pursuing their dreams. People have missed their destinies. People are not. Because that's why we have institutional failure across the board. Because the right people are not in the right places. People who should be at some point, they are not there because they think it's too low for them. As a result, society is not moving in the direction we want. What we tell us young people is about us being the change we want to see. What are we doing? What do we need to do to change this? Otherwise, we should be blaming governments, talking and this, learning. It's also geared towards personal development. For me, the problem with education, I'm not limiting it to institutional education. Phebe College is this or that, there's no hostel, but that is not stopping you to sit at home and read your books. How many young people read books cover to cover? You read for exams, and reading for exam is not personal empowerment. It's just, it takes you from one class to the other. What makes you to be this kind of person in life that you can perform is when you get up at night and read when you don't have an exam.
And I see a lot of them even misusing social media.
Is it?
With social media now, our forefathers didn't have it, we do.
Yeah.
The same credit you waste, go online on WhatsApp to laugh and chat, idle chat, you could use that same credit to go Google and check something that can educate you.
Well,
instead of downloading a
it will
game.
really interest you to know that I was discussing with Kelvin and Alex the other day. I told them I sat to the WASA exams and it was restricted for me to move in to the exam hall with a mobile phone. But then now people are attending the WASA exams. Before you know it, the answers are in the internet, you understand? I am not attending the WASA exams, but every single day in our various political and other forums, you see people sharing these answers, well written, you understand? So you begin to ask yourself, what leaders are we producing? Now
What education, especially with the sex for grades, money for grades.
Because you can imagine, an individual attending the WhatsApp SS4 is somebody who is preparing him or herself to become a manager at any institution in this country. Because soon you go to the university, very soon these are people that will be saying, I've graduated with a BSc in almost XYZ and I don't have a job. Because productively, outside academics, practically, young people who've gone through these educational blah 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 cannot produce the results that it's actually needed. Because what can we be boastful of, Vivian? You attempt an exam, the answers is everywhere, and then these are people now students don't read. All they do is just before exams they begin to hang at where are the answers?
And embarrassingly tells on them and the country at large.
Exactly.
Because if you go to another country and boast that I am a graduate, a university graduate, and your output is equivalent to that student still in secondary school, then you're a disgrace to your degree you hold, and a disgrace to the institution you got it from, and the country.
Yeah, but the thing is, one thing I tell people is that the institutions, yes, they have a part of the blames you can apportion them, but the people manning these institutions, they are professors, they have higher education, many of them studied outside Syria. So whether the institution is bad or not, it's not making their qualifications bad.
Because they still have what they have.
Right. But you can't imagine graduates can't write application letters. It's terrible here in Syria. Very terrible.
Well, Alex, that makes the institution bad.
Do you see that as
that makes the institution bad?
Do you consider that laziness on the part of the students?
Well, I wouldn't consider
because
if you cannot produce a very good result, you don't need to pass. You begin to ask yourself, some of these students are the ones even having one of the best grades in class.
Right.
They don't go for classes.
Some of those are the ones who go to the lecturers as well and ask.
Well, that is why we need to hold the institutions accountable.
Do you do it?
What we are saying.
In fact, did you do it through your education? Pay for grades?
What we are saying.
If you had the opportunity to pay for grades, would you have done it?
Well, no.
Why would you not?
Why? Because I knew what I wanted.
Exactly.
And I knew what
what we are saying, we are not ruling out that the institutions are not to be blamed. But what we are saying, what is the effect on the institution? What is the effect on the institution? It's less. And what is the effect on the individuals? It's great, right? Because imagine if I cannot write a good application letter, I think the institution is bad. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get a job. And people are not going to be happy to employ me because I'm not adding value to the institution. So for me, it's personal development.
During the war, we saw that rich people became poor, and only those who had education and those in extreme cases, God's blessing, that became rich again. So in an instance where the young people are looking to get the shortcut, the easy way out of education, what would happen in an event where that education they were supposed to get is the only thing that would help them to succeed?
What happens in that case is that they are definitely going to be left out with no option because the system changes, but education remains the same, your level of education and your level of input. You know, during the civil conflict in Sierra Leone, the qualifications of people were burnt down, people lost their papers and everything, but they had the knowledge and they were able to trace back to universities and they got the qualifications. So imagine, so people basically went down, all they had was money and property and they couldn't get up again. So what happens in that case is you want to ask yourself today, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to yourself?
There are those also who really genuinely got their education. They studied hard, they got the good grades, they graduated with genuine papers, but they don't have jobs.
Well, the thing is, I think the world is shifting, and interestingly, as senior colleague told me someday, I said, everything we use in Sierra Leone is made by white people, but we don't want to use the system they're using to get where they are today, right? The world over, unemployment is high, even in America. The government is not the best employer of people, but we the citizens of Sierra Leone can create more jobs for ourselves.
How?
That's what we do. Entrepreneurship, going into the small businesses, the small and medium-sized enterprises, starting small so that you can grow big. Imagine you identify a problem within Sierra Leone and you start solving this problem, and you begin to employ people. It could be one, it could be two. You can scale big and employ people. But if the private sector, which is supposed to cushion the unemployment issue in Sierra Leone, is not growing, we rely much in Sierra Leone on foreign direct investment. And what happens? Foreign direct investment cannot sustain our economy because the big investors can live in the middle of the night when the economy gets scary or the political climate is not friendly. But the local businessmen, they are always there.
And it happened during the Ebola.
Yeah, and the worst thing about foreign direct investment, yes, they can employ mass employment, but it's not sustainable. And the resources, the profits they are getting from Sierra Leone, it's not going to be saved in Sierra Leone. They are taking their monies away.
And I think as young people,
so as young people, how do we tap into our own economy? But the fact of the matter is that we don't have a vacuum in life currently. If you're not doing something, somebody else is doing it. And now our middle economy in Sierra Leone is being carried away by foreigners. You walk around the streets of Freetown and Sierra Leone, you see big businesses. It's hard to come by a one that can tell somebody can say this is Sierra Leone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So for me, all what was said, I think, I'm a technical person, and
Yes.
I love to do things and then produce good results at the end of the day. And so many of these things we've been saying them for a very long time. For a very long time. You can imagine, we've had the former Minister of Education, the Minister of Youth, and they've been saying all of these things. And at the end of the day, none of these things have been able to provide good and sustainable solutions. And so for me, saying some of these issues is how, do we provide solution, a long-lasting solution, and solve some of these issues, because, you cannot imagine to still be under some of these circumstances, some of these issues, to the next generation of young people that are coming in. So you want to provide a solution that will support us, that will support the next generation of young people that are coming. So looking at the technical aspects, it's about, providing solution to long-lasting issues. So how do we do that? Involving into community empowerment, and then providing mentorship opportunities. Like, we've been doing it, launching the Sustainable Development Summit, but also after the Sustainable Development Summit, what's next? So those are some of the things that we need to ask ourselves, because so many people have been saying it. You cannot imagine the WAS exam. People have been saying it for a very long time. And I had quite recently, the West Africa examination office is planning to do CCTV next year exam coming in.
Embarrassing.
And you cannot imagine. So some of these things, we need to look at the technical aspects. How do we bring immediate solution instead of just saying it? We've been having conferences now. Quite recently, see the delegation that went. You cannot imagine what Alex mentioned. You can use those fundings to support bigger projects that will be long-lasting and sustainable.
Funding also, speaking of which, funding is a serious problem, because a lot of times we say they can go into business or do anything. Every business requires a capital.
Exactly.
How do you start? And there's Ali Dangote. He is the richest black man. I am yet to hear of any black man who has, overthrown him. I wish I would overthrow you one day, by God's grace. Yeah, he is actually the richest black man alive. And I came across a video he did about entrepreneurship. Let's take a look at it, and I'm sure that can help a lot of our young people.
To be an entrepreneur and also to be a visionary person, you have to actually be very, very bold. You have to be ready to take calculated risk, not just any risk. You have to take a calculated risk, and you have to think big. If you think small, you always remain small in life. So these are the three things which you have to do, and you must be consistent. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring. So if you have challenges, you just have to know how to work out or how to work around these challenges, and you will be successful once you are consistent. What business doesn't like is for you to try something, and then once you have one or two problems, now you want to change and move into another business. That doesn't work in business at all. Yewande really is a typical entrepreneur. When you look at it, it is really not common for somebody to leave banking and go and start something totally new, especially in an area of events management, because at the time that she left the bank, which was 10 years ago, nobody thought that something like events management will actually succeed. But it is good. That is really what you call entrepreneurship, and also a vision. She had a vision, and she is able to actualize our vision. It's just like myself. I remember one time I went to address a retreat of First Bank of Nigeria, and I was telling First Bank of Nigeria, this is where Dangote is going to be in the next 5 years. We are not really that big at the time that I went there to address them. And I'm sure, they couldn't really believe what I was saying then. But I remember at a point, the MD said that, well, they are really shocked at how we actually been able to make it and also actualize our vision. So I think with this thing that she has done, I personally believe it is just beginning of the journey. because she has a vision, and I'm sure if she continues to do it, this can turn into another mega business, you know, because like what I always say, look, for an entrepreneur, there are no boundaries. Not only are there no boundaries, you can actually excel much more than your own expectation. And that's really what I expect of an entrepreneur to be. Not to just say, okay, fine, I have a vision and only achieve that your vision. You need to have a vision and a mission so that you can actually actualize it and also excel. I mean, I had somebody who came to interview me one time, and I told him that, yes, you know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I never ever expected myself to be on the Forbes list. But right now, the vision that I have and also my own mission is actually to be on top of the line, not even where I am today. And that's really how, you know, a visionary person should be. Nothing is really going to work out unless you have a vision and a mission. Having funds is one thing, and also having not only even a vision and a mission, you must have what you call the capable people to assist you. I mean, obviously, like what Yonde is doing, if not because of her competent staff, she's not going to be able to achieve what she had already achieved. And I'm sure she's just starting right now.
And we've heard from Ali Dankote, entrepreneurship. We grumble and complain that, you know, unemployment is a serious problem. Well, there's a way for you to employ yourself. For you, the young people who just want to drink and smoke, that money you use to drink and smoke for a whole week, see how you can save it. By the time it gets up to a month, you'll see that you have some amount to start something little. Little develops into something big. So you can start small and go up. Gentlemen, now to round up, yeah, a lot of these issues are happening, youth violence, we see guys joining gangs and cliques, killing people. What do you think can be done? What should they as individuals know that they don't know that can help them stop a lot of this?
But I think the key here is that, as you said rightly, is entrepreneurship in terms of learning the young people to invest in themselves. You're looking at critical skill set you have, but again, I like us young people asking ourselves tough questions. The economy is, yes, this or that is really, but that is not stopping your personal life savings. We're wasting a whole lot of money, young people. We start doing something, the sooner we start getting some money, we're going to divert from our plans. You want to ride a car today, you want to live this life, you want to be on the beach. So you don't have to get busy. And entrepreneurship it's sacrificing some aspects of your life to live a life that you want to live, that people cannot live like you. So it's about getting to the drawing board. But the beauty of entrepreneurship again is identifying problems of society. You know, when you look at Aliko Dangote critically, when he started business, his dream was not to make money. As any other big entrepreneur in the world, when you talk about Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, or you talk about Bill Gates of Microsoft, you identify a problem within the society which is a pain to you, and you provide a solution to that problem. And you're going to transform lives, give hope to people, and you're going to make a whole lot of money. So people who make money in this world is simple, it's solving problems. So if you're not making money, meaning you're not solving any problem.
Like Kelvin wanted to solve a problem in his community, so he developed his own radio station.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the only secret to making money. Is you need to solve problems within your society. And you're not only making money, but you're contributing to the development. So for us, Sierra Leone, this is a fine time in Sierra Leone. Honestly, the economic problems we have, this is the great opportunity for all young people to see the problems are so much that you can make money out of these problems. But you don't have to start up, it's starting from the ground.
Now with the cliques and gangs, the Minister of Internal Affairs is saying that we should be hanging some of them. Those who kill others who are found guilty should be hanged. Do you see that approach as one that could help address the problem?
I would say yes, it is very timely. Phebe, the thing is, the perception that I will kill you and then go on in jail time is popular. Until unless we are able to set some basic precedents, and I think we'll have to, well, it might happen, it may not happen. I wouldn't say it's just a mere threat, or let's just assume it's something that will happen. If we happen to see two people
who will go through the courts, and then they will be screened and say, well, yes, you are guilty of killing an individual.
Like now in the case of
LSC,
who's
fine,
being
yes,
sentenced.
yes, that's a very good example.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, that should tell you that no matter the money you have, no matter how spiritual you think you are, if you kill another person, that simply means the value for your life is not there.
I think Phoebe, we're missing the point here. Festus, you're right, but we needed to look at much more sustainable approach, right? Now, if killing someone or sentencing someone with a death sentence can stop killing, how many killings we've had of after the sentence of LSC? How many?
A lot of, actually,
The
LSC
sentence
has not
LSC.
been hanged.
Yeah, he is not behind, but he was sentenced. And how many?
But
That tells us that, for me, I come back to the driver, who is winning? Imagine, I have dreams, I have to pursue my life, and you kill me, and they kill you too.
So you disagree with that method?
It's not working.
So what do you think should be done?
What should be done is youth empowerment.
This
This
is something Alex used to be the president of Children's Home Network in Boo. I could vividly remember I was in the CFA national body. Alex has been doing this campaign. Youth, children should change. And this is the same campaign that we are going with every day. There are many a time you have to forget academics. Let's take society radical. Exactly. You understand? Let's just handle. Let's try. We've tried the diplomacy side of it. Fabian saying youth should change. Alex saying youth should change. Kelvin's video every day. It's really to tell young people that even without education you can build something out of it. But these young people are saying, in fact, they don't even want to listen to Fabian. No sooner Fabian starts speaking, they'll be saying, "How they talk so?" You understand? Exactly. This is the perception. So let's try.
So how do you change someone who is not willing to change?
Well, let's try the radical side of Fabian.
Face to face. Like what you mentioned, for me, the LNC issue is not something that should be an exception. Yeah, you're supposed to kill you because looking at the individual, DJ Clef. Is it DJ Clef? Yeah, you can see is someone that has potential. It was a very, very visionary young man coming up, and he has been contributing towards development.
Exactly.
And now look at what is named LSC. You know, the approach, and we're supposed to do the same thing. It's not a matter of wasting time. And quite recently, I had this trying to, there is something, that is going on between the police and LSC planning to escape
let's only limit our conversation to LSC.
I think it's very important here. Kelvin and Festus, they're making brilliant points, but the fact of the matter is, who is winning? We want to start losing young people in twos because they kill them.
So we've lost two
what's
instead
the
of
future
one.
of the young people? If you kill me, they kill you.
We've lost two already.
We've lost two. And what's going to be the benefit to my family?
But you also know that as recent as one of these days, someone came to our office who is a fan, and he came with an obituary, said he lost his brother. What happened was people were fighting. I think it was at Mountain Court. A guy was beating his sister, so he went there and said, "Stop." So the guy just turned around, he took a knife and stabbed two of them. One did not die, he's hospitalized. The other one was stabbed right in his heart. But just simply saying, "That's your sister and she's a woman, leave her alone." He was killed.
So two could have gone. And
just like that, he was killed for intervening.
The thing is, Vivian, we are underestimating the disgruntlement of some youths that you can't scare them with death.
So that's like those who have given up in life, who say, I do what I want, I'll never succeed.
They've got no hope.
This is something we haven't tried for ages. Let's try this thing and see what.
You're right.
I am a child and you try.
Okay, let's do it this way now. Our final wrap up here. In your recommendation, I'll start off with you, Kelvin. What would you recommend to the government and the young people?
Well, for me, I think it's the mindset. It's the mindset of the young people to do what is best and what is right for them. As a country, I think so many things happen, but I don't want to limit myself to what is happening in the government sector and try to now say, the government is not supporting me, so this is how I need to live my life. When I know I've already obtained and gained recognition, I've already paved my way, wherein the government was not there even when I built a radio station. So it's the mindset of me being able to say now, I built a radio station, I went to the trash, using limited resources, And I've been able to see all these people,
At the end of the day, you're the one receiving the compliments, not the government.
Exactly. So it's just the mindset of us being able to determine what is best for us and what is good. We've all said this, to and fro, and still yet we're yet to see changes. And for me, I'm a technical person. When you do things to me, I find ways not to retaliate, but to tell you what you did was wrong. And how can you be able to realize and say, I need to apologize.
Now, Alex, how do you change someone who is not willing to change?
But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people quoting from the Bible an eye for an eye, which is brilliant, but
that's Old Testament.
Yeah, but the same Bible tells us train up a child
the way they should grow.
So that when they are growing, it tells us of the upbringing. For me, I'm not concentrating on you're not repairing people, you're forming young people, you're building generational leaders. So what are we doing? What is a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid in Sierra Leone learning to be right or wrong? What are the moral values? So we are losing the foundation. And now it's so unfair that you lost the foundation, then you want the building to be solid and massive. It's not possible. So you cannot have a weak foundation with 15 stories building. It's coming down again, and that is what is happening. There's a long road to youth crime. You can't just wake up tomorrow and begin stabbing people. It's not possible. There's a long road to that. So how do we engage these people? A lot of people think, yes, we've been talking a lot, and some of us, we are today where we are because at some point somebody talked to us. We learned what is good and what is not. So we wouldn't just want to position ourselves out there as the young people where they engage in this. Not only engage them, but looking at what is the cause of this, what is happening. How do we prevent this from happening?
So we should not give up on them.
We don't have to give up on them, but not only treating those who are committing the crime, we're not supporting them, we should condemn them, we should put systems in place, but how do we engage younger ones to stop doing it? You understand? How do we engage younger ones? Because for me, the problem we face in Sierra Leone is not just limited to crime. If we want to just put all our attention into youth who are committing crimes, and we're limiting the factor, right? If we do some quick research on South Africa, they've got high crime rates than Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is not among the listed countries who are crime prone in terms of highest rates of crimes. We're not. But South Africa is developing, they are moving. That tells us, for me, my point is, we first committed a crime against the young people, which is social injustice. What is the political, social, economic chances that we have as Sierra Leoneans? So when we have social injustice high, crime is not going to be low.
Okay.
That's so practical.
Thank you,
social
Alex.
injustice high, crime is going to be
Let
low.
me come to you now, Festus. Yeah. Alex is saying we should not give up on them. So do we let them continue to kill, or should a radical approach be taken?
Well, I told Alex, I made an example earlier. This is something we've been doing, Kelvin has been doing for almost, I started advocacy at age 11, you can imagine. So I met Alex in advocacy. So this is something we've been doing with Phebe, and this is something you've been talking about. Let's try to see how best we can shape these young people. But at the end of the day, we get these similar stories coming up. Today you hear a youth has stabbed somebody and escaped. A youth, let's try this approach. I'm an activist. I care so much about young people. Yeah, I know apart from just killing them.
So you don't want to spare the rod
I
and
don't want
spoil
to.
the child.
Yes, that's it. Because even biblically it is said. So let me close by saying, let us try to empower the institutions that are now available to make sure that we empower young people. For example, you have young people who have ideas in business. Let us try to make sure that our private companies, the government, has a room to support these young people that are coming up. You will agree with me that Alex here is an entrepreneur. He has Eileen, he's a graduate. He is trying to see how best he can be able to provide job for himself. Kevin has Tech, but actually the support is not there. You understand, to see that this company move from one place to another, because people are looking at young people as competitors, even when they are not even close to where they are now. So let us try to see how best we can empower young people. Let us try to see how best we can be able to make our institutions very formidable, that we can produce leaders, mentors like Phebe and Swill and the rest of mankind.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So a lot has been said, but it comes down to your attitude. If what we've said you just listened and then ignore, so nothing's gonna come good out of you. There are a lot of people who've become successful based on what they did. Now take a case of this guy here, Kelvin Doe. He started from nothing, he's something. I know of another guy who owns Go Shop. Yeah, he was at Phebe College. He graduated, and now he has employed other young people. You know, I go around town. I see some guys. You know, they'll wash cars for people and earn money. Yes, you can do that. In life, cut your coat according to your size. If you were born poor, don't want to live the lifestyle of Bill Gates' son when you've not earned the money yet. Walk the walk to live the life you want to live. Don't go stage 10 when you've not even started stage 1 yet. So go through the stages in life and become what you want to become. That's the best way for you. There are people who tell you that during their time of education, they had to go around people's compounds to iron for them, do their laundry. You know, back in the days when people used to cook with wood, they'll tell you, I used to split wood for people, they pay me, I paid my fees. Where are all those things now? Where have they gone to? You look at movies, you want to be like Jemai. Do you know how he started? What he did in that movie is purely a movie. It's not reality. He was an armed robber, later on he was rich. That is a movie. So the moment you begin to realize that you're in the real world, you wake up from the sleep you're in right now, then you will be able to make it. That's what it has been here on the Phebe Swill platform, Sustainable Youth Development. We can only go as far as talk to you. What becomes of you is entirely up to you. If you take the advice and become somebody, kudos to you, yeah? When you become successful, it's bravo to you and your family. Who would say the government or this, yeah? So try to help yourself. And to the big people, those with the money, help younger people. What good is it for you to say, I have 10 cars, I have this million and that million in my account, yeah? You're gonna die and people wouldn't miss you. Like now, the late Monsieur Fadikame, he so rest in peace. People are talking good of him. They miss him because he used to help young people. So what good is your money to yourself and the country if you cannot help other young people? So that's it. Think about it and decide what you want to do. I am Phebe Swill. Thank you.
Hi there, I am Phebe Swill. I am Phebe Swill. My show is called the Phebe Swill platform, and on my show, we discuss everything, human interest issues ranging from entertainment, politics, sports, you name it, that can get you excited and entertained. We discuss it all on the Phebe Swill platform.
Proudly brought to you by Salon Jamboree.